everybody, and welcome back to the KMB Music Den. He's Brad.
I am, and you are?
I think I'm still Keith.
Always. All right, good deal.
Last time I checked. Folks, hey, here it comes, Brad. Another new album to review. They are coming fast and furious. And I've actually been thinking about this. There's so many coming out every week now that there's ones that I've listened to just for my own enjoyment that we don't even have time to review.
No.
So maybe we'll do something, make a list or something at some point. But today we are here to talk about the new album by Keaton Henson called House Party. Now, Brad, I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty darn sure at some point I must have at least mentioned this guy to you because I've been so big on him for years.
Not at all.
I never mentioned Keaton Henson.
You never mentioned this guy to me one time.
I disagree. I'm going to scroll back through our entire text history. I think it was probably like 7 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
But anyway, so you already answered my next question. You're going in completely blind.
Completely blind. No
previous Keaton Henson. Now, I will say, before we get too far into this album, particular House Party, just came out a few days ago, my history with Keaton Henson, folks, and why I was really, really looking forward to doing this and highlighting him on our channel. I believe, folks, I believe he's from England. If I got that wrong, please. I'm sorry, Keaton Henson fans.
He is too.
Yeah, okay. I discovered this guy many years ago. I think it was because of, let me grab one here, this magazine that I get every month called Uncut. It's from the UK. And without fail, I always go to my local bookstore. Every time there's a new edition out, I grab it because these guys, and the UK in general, as you know, Brad, is always on top of things. They're months ahead of us as far as cool music.
They are.
And fashion and everything, let's be honest.
Yeah.
This is not the brand new one because I have the last 3 or 4 upstairs that I've been reading. But this is a fairly recent one with Neil Young on the cover. But they just always got a great feature story and the album reviews of the stuff. They have their finger on the pulse of the new stuff coming out.
They do.
Before us Americans. So I love every time there's a new edition of that. I love just grabbing that and thumbing through it. But many years ago, I was looking through an edition of Uncut magazine, and I saw a review for Keaton Henson, his album called Dear, like Dear, like that album just absolutely floored me. I've been following this guy ever since. He, for the Andrew Combs video for the album Sundays, you had your Fabergé egg comment. I mean, you want to talk about a fragile voice. And, I've read up on this guy. I've looked into this guy. And he's authentic to me in the sense that he's very open about having stage fright. And his voice is just it's almost like he's scared of his own shadow. And I don't mean that I'm not insulting him because I think he actually does have like anxiety, actual.
It's bad anxiety,
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not making fun at all. But what comes out of that, and I actually give him so much credit and I tip my hat to him because it is difficult for him to perform. It is difficult for him to sing. But he's so fantastic and such a great writer and such a visionary, in my opinion. And I think, that's why I wanted to put him on the channel because I just think more people need to know about him and listen to his music. But going into this album, and I'm going to read a quote actually from Brooklyn Vegan, which is he was interviewed about this album that just came out, House Party, that we're going to review here. And he said, and now keep in mind, I know leading up to this album, I knew him as the guy, sparse guitar. Not always acoustic, by the way, but sparse guitar, maybe a little bit of strings, very little percussion. Most of his stuff up until this point has been, like the fly on the wall thing, like we said about Andrew Combs, like you're afraid to even flap your wings because you're gonna mess up some magic in the studio or what have you. But he said about this album leading up to it, and I quote, "I wanted to make an upbeat, confident pop record about depression and being a performer, written from the viewpoint of an artist who has hollowed himself out over a long career in the name of success, an alternate universe version of me." So I found this absolutely fascinating because he almost felt like in that interview, in my opinion, he felt like he had to explain why he was making a pop record instead of just making a pop record and releasing it. It felt like he had to explain, like, well, to his loyal fans, like, well, this is why it doesn't sound like this fragile little thing anymore, because it's kind of like a concept album about me making a pop record. Because, you know, I don't know. I found that fascinating that he almost felt like he had to defend why he made this album. So there's a lot of backstory here and a lot of history that just went over. But, oh, and by the way, before I forget, this goes back to our dear friend Paul Simon in that review that I did, where this album by Keaton Henson, who has, you know, this is his 7th studio album, I believe. He has quite a career, especially in not listed on the new releases on iTunes. Just not even there. So, yeah. So, Brad, as a brand new, as a Keaton Henson virgin, so to speak.
Yeah, no kidding.
What do you think of him and House Party? Let me have it.
This album ruined my weekend.
Oh.
Because I could not listen to anything else.
Oh, you got me. You got me.
It almost made it impossible to do any other reviews. Keith, I'm telling you, I've listened to this album nonstop since. That's why I was mad at you, because I'm like, why the hell hasn't Keith mentioned this guy? I thought you had found him somewhere and just picked his name out and said, well, let's review this guy.
No.
I didn't know what so I wasn't going to text you about it at the time.
Yeah.
Because I wanted you to be surprised. But oh my God.
Right?
The vinyl was already ordered. I've already been on the website looking at his books. This guy's an author. He's a painter. He's a drawer.
Yeah, I forgot to mention all that. Yeah,
he reminds me a lot of Joseph Arthur in the fact that he can't stop being artistic no matter what he does.
Yes.
He's just the English version.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, this album!
Right?
I'm telling you right now, Keith, album of the year so far for me.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay, good. I was afraid you were going to be like, eh. And
no.
I was going to be so disappointed because I was so excited about it.
Well, and I tell you what, I can't believe I did this because I usually don't. I read that quote before I listened to the album.
Yeah.
Which was stupid because I would have had an even better experience listening to this album. I would have been so shocked. Because now let me ask you, did you go back and listen to Dear?
No, I haven't. Keith, I'm telling you, I haven't been able to listen to anything but this album. I made myself go and listen to Isbell once or twice because we had to do the review on that one. But other than that, I can't take this record off right now. This is going to be on for a little bit. I'm telling you, it's been listened to ad nauseum at this point.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
When you listen to Dear for a while, you might even forget about this album.
You think?
That's how good Dear is. That's how good Dear is.
Oh my God. Well, that blows me away then.
Dude, I cannot wait till you listen to Dear.
Okay.
And then the follow-up is called Birthdays, I believe.
Okay.
Those two albums, particularly Dear, but those two albums in a row, that 1-2 punch he had early in his career.
Okay.
Dude, like,
if it's better than this, I'll be very happy.
Oh, it is.
No, wow. Okay.
It is. Yeah. Now, but this is so good, man. First of all, I am so happy that you get this guy because
it's so good.
I think this is a guy where now you can't hear it as much in this album House Party because there's a lot of pop music propping him up, which is not his MO. It's not his MO.
Oh, you can tell though. You can tell.
But when you listen to Dear and Birthdays, I'm like, those albums are so fragile to me, and I believe every word he sings. He's authentic. He's very open about his anxiety, about his depression, about his stage fright. So this is not some guy with a meek, warbly voice trying to find like some voice that he thinks people will like. Like, this is his voice.
Yeah. No, the only reason I find it's going to be hard for me to find those better is I've done research on him just at work, and I read about the anxiety and he doesn't perform a lot live because of it, and the fact that he made the album like this based on his anxiety and what he's trying to do with his album is such a unique concept to make. It almost has in some parts an upbeat feel, but when you're listening to the lyrics, they're not upbeat.
No,
and it's just this really unique back and forth between the music and the lyrics.
Yes,
that I really like it. It plays off it really well.
And now I'm even more pissed off. I'm actually enraged that this album was not on the iTunes new release list.
I'm not, because iTunes is terrible. I mean, I haven't used them in a long time.
That's true.
They're modern, they don't pay attention to anything that's good, so I'm fine with that.
Dude, I'm so blown away that you get this guy in the way it seems like in the way I do. And you
haven't you wanted to do one more review this week, and I couldn't. There was no chance. No chance. I mean, I was immediately after the second listen, this is going to be really hard to beat for album of the year for me. This is. I got another musician now that I can be obsessive about for a little bit.
Well, dude, and this is great. Yeah, give Queens of the Stone Age a little break before their album comes out, right?
Exactly.
But I tell you, man, if we turn, and there's going to be more, but if we turn one person on that's watching this video that goes to find Keaton Henson and becomes a Keaton Henson fan, if we turn one person into a Keaton Henson fan for doing this review, I'm thrilled. I'm happy. And I know there's going to be more.
Well, if at least one person listens to Keaton Henson after listening to us, he's going to be a fan. I mean, it's...
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I put it on Friday morning to drive to work. No idea what I was expecting. And by the midway through the first track, I was like, what is this? This is wonderful. And I just, track after track. I didn't want to go to work. I wanted to just sit in the parking lot and finish. I mean, it was amazing.
Dude, and I literally, even beyond what we do for this channel, when we're finished filming these videos tonight, I want you to listen to Deer, and I want you to call me or text me and tell me what you think, because you're in for a whole new level of being blown away by this guy.
Probably, yeah.
Well, and here's something I want to mention. Something that you wouldn't know yet is that the lyrics on this album, and like you said, I mean, it's like there's upbeat poppy music, but it's like, wow, believe it or not, compared to like his early stuff, some of these lyrics are very simple and straightforward for Keaton Henson. For example, the song "Stay," which is beautiful. In the chorus, he very simply sings, "Stay with me. I can't sleep. Home is hell. Oh, baby, I think I need some help."
Oh, yeah.
Now, for Keaton, that's light.
Wow.
Those are light lyrics. That's sunshine and roses for Keaton.
I mean, I took down a lot of lyrics from this album as well, because I just... Yeah,
I
knew you're a poet.
Let me have it, man.
Okay,
what do you got?
Well, track 2, "Rain in My Favorite House." Fantastic song.
Yeah.
Just when he said, "Been by myself most of my life and it's okay. I feel insane all the time anyway."
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so...
Yeah.
So blunt. "Envy," track 3, another fantastic one. I thought this line was very... It made me think a little bit, where he says, "Don't envy what you wouldn't want to be each day. I'm everything I wanted, and I'd feel the same." So, I mean... Yeah. I mean, it's just...
It's funny you mentioned envy, because that first line of that chorus, I was having a hard time picking up what he was singing. Oh, and by the way, I'll be honest with you about something. Kind of just how my weekend went, but I was like okay with it because of my love for Keaton and my history with him. I listened to this album once, and it was right before we started making videos.
Today?
Today. I just listened to this album, and I listened to it once.
You poor guy. I'm in probably 7 or 8 things. I'm telling you, it's been
okay.
heavy.
But I'll say right back to you, you poor guy, because you've never heard Tear and birthdays.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you.
If you listen to Deer and you don't immediately order it on vinyl, I will fall to the floor in shock.
This one's already ordered.
Yeah.
Because Barnes & Noble didn't have it in stock, and my record store didn't have it in stock.
Yeah.
So yeah, sad.
Yeah. Dude, this guy's special. Like this guy, like if I were really depressed, and I wanted to just lean into that depression.
Yeah, just marinate in it for a little bit.
I just wanted to marinate in it. Thank you very much. Better words than me again, like you always do.
Yep.
If I wanted to marinate in that depression, I pull out my fucking Keaton Henson albums.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, again, more lyrics for you.
Yeah.
Track 8, "Late to You." This song also, if you should ever tire of being my everything, I'll understand and turn these hands to writing, but I can't promise you'll be in every word as you are now.
Yes.
Like this,
yes.
Man.
Yes.
This guy.
Oh,
But my
I
favorite
know.
lyric on the whole album. Here's my favorite
Oh, here
lyric.
we go. Here we
Because
go.
it's almost cynical. He almost takes his depression and makes fun of it for 1 second.
Okay, yeah.
And it's on my favorite track. What's your favorite track on this album so far?
Well,
Through one
remember,
scan.
I did the one listen. So,
Okay.
honestly, I can't even answer that yet. But
Well, track 6, Two Bad Teeth, really stood out to me. It's a
oh,
very
you know
unique.
what? That's the one
That's
that
it.
stood out to me the most. Yeah.
This line where he goes, "And if I take you on holiday, babe, will you remind me not to have fun?" It's just kind of the fact that he needs, you promise not to let me
Yeah.
enjoy myself.
Yes.
Just that's a little fascinating, like
Please remind me. Yeah.
I need you to remind me to be miserable. But
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song for me, Two Bad Teeth was my standout, along with
Me too.
the 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 5 songs outside of that outro that he has are all A's or better. I mean, they're all
Yeah.
just insane. But Two Bad Teeth is fantastic. Rain in My Favorite House is probably my second favorite.
Yeah.
God, there's just so many good ones. The Meeting Place.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's the one? The Mine? Isn't there one called The Mine towards the end?
that's track 11. Yep.
Yeah. How did you rate that one?
I got to be on that one.
Okay.
I felt now Hooray, which is track 12, I gave it an A. That was really back up and fun, unique.
Yeah.
But I felt like this one petered a tiny bit at the end. Not like the other ones we've been reviewing.
Just a little.
Just a little on this one. But geez, the first 8 tracks, and literally the first 8 tracks were on just hit. Like he was not missing anything on this.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
dude, I I can't even tell you. I like this guy. This is the guy for me that's like kind of like my guy that people don't know about. You know what I mean?
okay.
But that being said,
I was afraid. I was really afraid that this was someone you just picked.
oh
And then we
no,
go into this video and you'd be like, it was okay. And I would be over here gushing about it. And you're just.
no, and
Okay,
I am shocked and amazed because they're not easy to find that I don't own any Keaton Henson on vinyl.
Oh.
So I definitely want to get Deer. I
Yeah.
have to get Deer. The fact that I haven't yet is criminal.
On his website, there's only about 3 that's on there. I don't remember which ones they are.
Okay.
But I ordered this one, and there was 2 other ones. One that had like a porcelain baby doll or something face on it, and then
that might be Birthdays, and it's pink.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And then
so
is there like a tan one? There's like a kind of a tan one.
I didn't see that one.
That's Deer.
Okay.
It looks
But
like
I mean, he's got books, he's got art. I was like, this is another guy who just can't stop spewing art. Like he's just filled with it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Like,
he paints, he writes. Not just songs, but poetry.
It's amazing.
And that's the thing. Like the world has to come to him. Like there's no other. Like he just exists in his own space.
Mm-hmm.
Does these things because he's compelled to do them and wouldn't be doing anything else.
Yeah.
And whether he made like $100 a week or $10,000 a week by touring or selling albums, whatever his situation would be as a living situation with money or whatever,
Yeah.
he would just be doing what he's doing right now and what he's done before that I fell in love with years ago because it's who he is.
Yep.
He can't do anything else.
Oh, he's authentic. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Authentic.
Yep.
And one word for what took me 2 minutes to say. But oh man, I'm gonna have to stop because this video will be 2 hours because
yeah.
I mean, folks, this guy, I mean, start with the new one if you want. But I will say, it was for me, it was a little shocking to hear Keaton so comfortable using these lush pop arrangements, knowing what he's done in the past. And like I said, with that quote, he almost felt like he had to explain to his audience, like, well, this is like a concept album about a pop star. Like, don't worry, I'm not being, disingenuous here, folks.
Yeah.
But there's still moments of tenderness on this album. That's a pop album. But wait, you hear Dear, oh my God. But so I will say this. This is a quote I came up with, and I wonder if you'll agree. It's not as obvious to hear on this album because of the pop nature of it. But this guy, in my opinion, has the most authentically fragile voice in modern music. Agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, folks, if we have not compelled you enough, there's nothing more that I can say or Brad can say as a newbie to Keaton Henson, and me as a guy who's been into him for years.
Well, here we are. What, it's mid June, heading towards mid June, and this right now is sitting on top of the album of the year for me so far.
Dude, I listened to it once right before we filmed this video, and I agree. I already agree.
Good luck getting it off.
Album of the year.
This thing has been stuck. I keep trying to do other things, I can't do it. Like, as soon as there's a weird album cover, that yellow album cover with him.
Yeah, he was holding his own head. Yeah.
Every time I see it, I just keep clicking on it. I just can't stop.
Play it again. Play it again. Play it again, Brad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, folks, please. I mean, compared to any other video we've ever done, I am more looking forward to the comments, especially people that are like, "Yeah, I never heard this guy," and wow, some people might not be their cup of tea. He has that very fragile delivery, and some people aren't into that, or they think it's a put on. I will bet my life. That it's not. This is who this guy is. Yeah, warts and all, by his own self-evaluation. But what a beautiful, fragile, authentic artist.
Oh yeah,
and like you said, it's much more than music is what he does. And I've looked at that stuff online too before, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
He can't mess with me. And this house party is no exception. A little bit of a left turn for him, but he pulled it off brilliantly. So for the blown away new Keaton Henson fan, Brad, I am the returning Keaton Henson fan, Keith. And this is the KMB Music Den. We're going to wrap it up because I'll just keep going. Like the video, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel, smash the bell, blah, 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 blah. Go listen to Keaton Henson, House Party, and his early stuff and the middle stuff. All of it's fantastic. Weigh in. Let us know what you think. Discover Keaton Henson. I implore you. Look what it did to Brad's life. Look what it just did to Brad's life. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Made my weekend.
Yeah, made his weekend. So, and he tricked me the way he said that at first. I was like,
I tried.
no!
I wanted to see how much the reaction was going to be.
I was like, how can you not love this man? You got me.
I did.
Yeah. All right, folks, weigh in. Keaton Henson, House Party, and all of his other stuff. Check it out and let us know what you think. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.